Hi guys, Bearded Rogue here, continuing my Tony Unboxes in Oregon series. Now we're going to go ahead and open up Box 2, and we're going to talk about what's inside here. If you missed the last video, I covered Box 1 and all the things I've acquired since I got here to Oregon. This one's going to be Box 2, and every video from here on out should be a little bit shorter than that first introduction video. That being said, let's go ahead and get started. Box 2, we've got my inventory list of what's inside of it, but let's go ahead and take a look. So, my favorite solo game of all time, Friedemann Friese's Friday. I love this game. I brought this game with me to the hospital when my son was born. It's just a fantastic solo game. I highly recommend it. If you're at all interested in solo gaming, you really should have this one in your collection. Friday. Speaking of solo games, here's a solo game that I recently acquired but have not gotten to try yet, and that's Hostage Negotiator. I've heard really good things about this. I've heard that it can come down to luck of the dice, but since it's a solo game rather than a competitive game, the dice being against me isn't nearly as frustrating. So I'm more than happy to give this a try, and I can't wait to see how this one stacks up against the other solo games that I have. Let's see, what else in here? Game I can take with me anywhere, Happy Salmon. No other game comes in a neoprene fish. No other game is quite as simple to teach everybody, or anybody. I love this game. I was kind of coerced into playing it. Somebody just grabbed my hand and said, "Hey, come on over here, we're playing Happy Salmon." And I went, "Happy what?" And within a minute we were playing and I was having a blast. So this is my copy of Happy Salmon. Let's see, what else is here? So my copy of Not Dice. These are gorgeous. I haven't had a chance to play the games inside of it yet, but I'm really excited to take these out and mess around with them, play some of the various games in here and the puzzles and all sorts of stuff like that. So these are gorgeous. I'm really happy to have them, and glad to finally have them here in Oregon. Next. Fish Frenzy, the final title from Crash Games. I'm very sad that Crash Games is gone. I like pretty much everything I've ever gotten from them. You're going to see a few more, at least one more in this box. But I really like this company. Patrick Nickel is a very, very dear person. Probably the first... No, he is. He's the first publisher who actually spoke with me at a convention. It was his first Origins, it was my first Origins, and we ate lunch together. I played some games with him, and really, really enjoy Patrick's company. This is the last title from them, and I'm glad to have it in my collection. It's a kind of a mean little... like, much meaner than the artwork implies. The Quan Chai Mariah artwork on here is amazing. Quan Chai is always amazing, but it's a mean little auction type game, and really neat game. Sad that it's the last from Crash, but it's not the last from Crash that you will see in my collection. Speaking of Crash, here is the Lost Dutchman. This is the game I played with Patrick at Origins on his lunch break. It changed a lot since that Origins version. It has hexes. The version I played originally had cards. But it's you wandering around looking for the mine of the Lost Dutchman based on an actual story in the region of the country that Patrick's from. It's a really lightweight family type game. I like to bring it out whenever we're just kind of messing around for the evening. It lends itself to some really interesting stories, and it has a box that you could be buried in. Like most of Crash Games stuff, it's really sturdy and the components are top-notch quality. And like I said, I'm going to miss Patrick in the marketplace as his own publisher. But I understand he's found himself a pretty cool place now. So let's continue. What's next? What's next? Okay. The next game is another game that I primarily play solo or two-player, and that's D-Day Dice. As you can see, I backed the Kickstarter because I have the 10 edition. I have all of the bits in here and all of the maps in here, the different maps. It's really good as a solo game. I love it as a solo game. Two-player, it's pretty fun. Four-player, if the team coordinates really well, it's way too easy. You can get all of the bonuses stacking in such a way that you're nearly indefeatable even on the hardest of maps. But solo, it's really hard. I like this game. I'm sad about all of the circumstances around Valley Games and their demise and the Airborne in Your Pocket and the upfront Kickstarter campaigns and everything. I know that this was part of what contributed to all the chrome that was in this Kickstarter. It's part of what contributed to their demise, but this is a really fun solo game, and I have a ton of stuff for it, so it's nearly infinite replayability at this point. Speaking of Valley Games, we also have Crows. This is a fantastic game. I hope somebody else picks this up at some point and brings it back. If you get a chance, go on to Board Game Geek and watch the promo video for this. It's one of the most clever promo videos I've ever seen in my life. It tells you not just what the game is, but also how to play the game, and it's done using like sticks and strings and like real physical props as opposed to like animation. It's really, really clever and totally sold me on the game. But you basically put shiny objects on the tiles, and the crows flock to the shiny objects, and you're trying to get the most crows to come to your shiny objects so that you can get the most points. It's a really clever little tile-laying game, and I really enjoy it. Lots of fun. Glad to have this one. It's very hard to find now, so if this at all sounds interesting to you, I'm sorry if I sent you on a quest, but I'm really glad I have my copy. I like it a lot. Next. Valeria Card Kingdoms. These guys are now somewhat local. Some of them are here in the Portland area. Some of them are up in Seattle, but either way, I liked this game the second I played it at Unpub several years ago, and now it's out. And soon its expansion will be getting to me. That kickstarted successfully, and it will be on its way as well. But really, really happy to have this. This game slays Machikoro for me. It's something that I absolutely love to play, and glad to have it here. I'm sure I'll play this because one of the local guys, one of the local gaming buddies that I have now here, this is one of his favorite games and his wife's favorite game, so I'm sure I'll be playing this in the future. Next, Infiltration. It is set in the Android Netrunner universe, which is one of the reasons I have it. It's a Donald X Vaccarino game, actually, but is very, very different than Dominion or Kingdom Builder or any of the other ones that I've played. It's got a lot of neat chrome in it. It's got some interesting story ties into the Netrunner universe. I really wish it was a cooperative heist game as opposed to a competitive one. But for a little, like, press your luck heist game, it's pretty fun, and the artwork is gorgeous, and the component quality is Fantasy Flight level, so it's really good. It's a neat little game, and glad I have it. I've heard that Mainframe, which is also in the Netrunner universe, is somewhat similar in that it's really chromed out, pretty decent game, but that the what really sells it are its ties to the Android Netrunner universe, and I love that universe, so I'll probably end up with it at some point. But right now, Infiltration's the only one I have other than Android itself, which we'll get to later. Rolling America. This is, I think, my only roll and write game that I have right now. I picked this one up at Target because it was dirt freaking cheap. It's pretty fun. Played it a couple times. Really simple. Can play it with anybody. So, Rolling America. Not much to say about it. If you like roll and write games, it's a pretty good one, especially as an introductory one. Let's see, what else? We got Deck Building, the Deck Building game. That's right. The metagame game from Greater Than Games, Dice Hate Me Games, that came out on April 1st a couple of years ago. It is an actual game. Don't let the April 1st connection or the goofiness of the name fool you. It is a very real game. I've played it a couple times. It's kind of neat. It can be a little mean, but it's over really, really quick. So, not a big problem. If you have more than one copy, you can play with more people. It just plays 2 normally. 2 copies will play 4. So, just an interesting note. This is another game I haven't played. This is Pie Factory. It is also a Dice Hate Me game. It is also in the Tiny Rabbit box. It's supposed to be really, really good. I like pie, and I'm interested in giving this one a try. So this one I got as part of a set of a bunch of used games, and this one came with it, and I'm really excited to try this one too. It and Sail to India from my last video were in the same box. So, and then Unpub, the card game, which as far as I'm concerned, isn't really a game. Like, it is a game. Like, don't get me wrong. You can play it as a game. It functions as a game. But in my opinion, it's a design aid. It's one of the best design aids ever made. For those who don't know, each card has a theme, a mechanism, and a component. And you can put them together to try to come up with interesting game ideas. I really, really like it for that, as a brainstorming tool or as a design tool. It's also a pretty decent game. It's one of those, you know, make your unpublished card game, pitch it kind of thing. Pretty cool. I like it. Unpub. And last but not least, in box number 2 is Thesis the DarkOrbit. I did an entire video about this. I also did an interview about this. But this is a game that was given to me by somebody wonderful on the internet who still remains nameless. I saw this on a Watch It Played playthrough. And absolutely had to have it. And about the time I absolutely had to have it was the time it was completely out of print. Grant Rodiak put it up. This used to be his copy. He put it up for sale, used, and I did not have money at the time and lamented that fact. And it arrived at my door anyway because somebody else took care of it. And yeah, you can go watch the video for more detail, but this game is a very, very special game to me and will be in my collection forever. It's a pretty solid abstract-y Mancala game with a neat sci-fi aliens theme over the top of it. So, really, really cool. I'm so happy to have this one, and I can't wait to play it some more. Thesis the DarkOrbit. And that's it for box 2. So, stay tuned for more. I'm going to cut the video off here, and I'll be back with box 3. Talk to you guys later. Bearded Rogue, out.